This better be a good one. If it's going to be the last one. No pressure. See, now you know what it's like.
You talked about attending the festivals and the importance of film festivals. Unlike many of your generation, you've described yourself as a novelist who makes movies, not a film fan or a film fanatic who makes movies. The Scorseses, the Spielbergs, these are film nerds who are making films, and their films echo that Tarantino. So what is the movie that you saw that thought, this is what I want to do? What are the movies you still see that continue to excite you, even if they don't necessarily overtly play a role in your creative process?
Well, I was never a film nerd. I was kind of a literature nerd, really, you know. I saw, in Toronto, we are almost literally halfway between Europe and Hollywood. And I think I was influenced by films coming from both places. And as a kid, I saw cowboy movies and what we called sword fighting movies, Errol Flynn as Robin Hood and all that kind of stuff. It was all great. I never thought of myself as making film. Films seemed to come from somewhere else. It wasn't something that you could do yourself. And so, there were two moments. One was, I was a child, and we used to go to the theater every Saturday to see movies. And in the neighborhood that I lived in Toronto, there would be a stream of children, like lemmings, going to the cinema. And we weren't accompanied by parents or any of that thing that happens now where people are totally terrified to let their kids out on the street by themselves. We all went by ourselves.
Were you going to the Eglinton or the University?
This was in Canada.
Which theater were you in?
Yeah. Sorry?
Which theater, the Eglinton or the University?
No, it was called the Pylon. And it was on College Street. And I remember coming out of the theater having seen, Hopalong Cassidy or some cowboy movie. And across the road was a theater called The Studio. And it only showed Italian films because the area that I lived in Toronto was very much full of Italian immigrants. And so the films were in Italian, the audience was Italian. And I saw people coming out of that movie and they were weeping, they were crying, and they were all adults, there were no kids. And I thought, this is extraordinary. Some movie has caused these adults to come out on the street weeping. What was that movie that had that power to make grown-up people weep? Well, I crossed the road and I saw, it said La Strada, it was Fellini's La Strada, which later when I saw it, I was weeping too. So that was the first inkling I had that movies could have an extraordinary power, not just an entertainment for children, but could be, a powerful emotional event for an adult. And then the next thing was a little movie formed, which was a student film made at the University of Toronto. And the thing that shocked me when I saw it was that it had my friends in it as actors. Now, you can't reproduce that now, but the idea that people you knew could be in a movie was shocking. It never occurred to me that that was possible. And I understood from that movie, which was quite a lovely movie. It was about two students coming to the University of Toronto, and they sort of had a sort of gay relationship without acknowledging it and stuff. I suddenly thought, I'd like to try that, and I can see that it's doable. The fact that you could make a movie, that was the striking thing. Now every kid now knows you can make a movie, and you can make a movie with, with Final Cut and with your iPhone. But then it was just not accessible, and suddenly this movie meant access. So it didn't really have to do with whether the movie was good or not, although it was, or whether it was the kind of movie I wanted to make, which it wasn't. It was access, that you could do this. This is something you could do, and that's the movie.
Are there still movies that make you cry?
Sorry?
Are there still movies that make you cry?
Oh, of course, yeah.
And on that note, I would like to thank you, David, for sharing your stories with us and being here and being an inspiration.
Oh, well, thank you. It's my pleasure. Really, I've been very happy to be here.